I'll start by talking about big data and data growth as a trend. We'll kind of look at the pace of data growth and the lack of skilled data professionals to manage this deluge of data. And don't worry, I'm not going to go into what is big data and go through the V's. You've all heard that to death. From a data growth perspective, go to IDC. They have their global data sphere study. And as you might expect, it shows unabated growth over the next few years through the year 2025. We're storing more and more data every year, and that trend is really not going to change anytime soon. All the way up to in 2025, they predict the global data sphere to be 175 zettabytes. I don't know which analyst is out there counting all this data, but I'm always skeptical of hard and fast numbers like this. But I think the trend is accurate. So the amount of data that our organizations are accumulating is growing at an alarming rate. But I think what's more troubling is the lack of attention this receives from management. Lack of attention, at least in terms of what matters, and that's staffing. Yeah, most organizations and their leaders and executives are saying things like, we want to take advantage of analytics on big data, and we treat data as a corporate asset. But the actual reality is somewhat of a neglect, and it's shown by this stat from computer economics. Data management staff, as a percentage of IT, has risen less than 1% over this 4-year period that they tracked. And at the same time, from the same study, IT spending per user is also declining. Now, these trends kind of align with what I think is the number one overall IT management challenge, and that's lack of budget. So companies are collecting more data and connecting more applications than they ever have before. And they say they want to make sure that that data is secure and reliable and accessible. And in other words, they're saying we need DBAs. But despite these increased demands, companies aren't growing their DBA staff. If you look at the data on this slide, it comes from a DBA staffing's ratio report. And it shows that DBAs have dropped to 2.8% of the total IT staff, down from 3% in 2016, 3.3% in 2014. This poses a significant risk. More data with industry trends like the explosion of mobile devices and the growth of the Internet of Things means that more and more data is going to continue to be accumulated and amassed. And that means that we need more DBAs to oversee the data. But DBAs are making up a declining percentage of the total IT staff. Maybe we see management putting too much faith in things like marketing saying this is a no outage database, or maybe the expected growth in DBA outsourcing, or self-managing databases. And all those things are happening and lend some credence to this. And also the more tooling that helps you to manage database systems in the cloud with software as a service. And we'll look at that coming up in a minute. But still, decreasing DBAs with increasing data is a recipe for problems.